forgive me real quickly. How many of you know Ted Bassett? A lot of you know Ted Bassett. Well, it's Ted's 92nd birthday tomorrow, and I was with him just a few minutes ago, and I kept saying, now Ted, we've got to cut the ribbon for the Piggy Bank bus stop. Jim, I want to tell you one more story, so forgive me, you all. We are here to celebrate this extraordinary new bus stop. You know, a friend of mine said the other day, and I just love this, he said, you know, Jim, have you seen the Piggy Bank bus stop? And I said, I have, but I haven't seen it up close. He says, you know, it makes me smile. It makes us all smile, and that's what a city should do. This is a great example of citizen involvement. It's creative, and it's playful, it is art, and it has a utilitarian purpose as well. Citizens, neighbors, businesses, and friends who cared came together with leadership and did something extraordinary. Council members Diane Lawless, and I think Bill Farmer, I know Diane's here. Diane is here, right here, is with us today, and they know just how important bus shelters are. Now Diane is here to welcome us to the 3rd District. Diane, come on up. There we go. You've got this. I'm gonna turn this microphone down where you won't have a bit of trouble with it. All right.
I just want to say this has been a long effort with so many people contributing. I remember when Kate Savage first approached me about it, maybe 2 years ago, and every time I drive down the street as it's being built, no matter what kind of mood I'm in or what's happened that day, when I cross by here, I get a big chuckle, and I want to thank Republic Bank and everybody involved. Thank you so much. It's so important.
Thanks, Diane. Now next is Rocky Burke, who is the general manager for Lexington, who surely understands, who of course understands the significance of this, especially near the University of Kentucky and Chevy Chase. So Rocky, thanks for supporting this shelter, and you're up.
Thank you, sir. Well, it certainly is a pleasure being here today, especially with Diane, Mayor Gray, and all the contributors to this project. And like the mayor said, you know, it is a bus shelter, so it's very important to Lexington and all the things that we do, and how appropriate for us to cut the ribbon to this on a kind of a cold, I guess, wintry day almost. And that's what shelters are all about. So we're happy to be able to do that today. You know, one of the things that we've looked at on this whole Euclid corridor is, you know, the opportunity to put up more shelters. And with the very narrow right-of-ways and things, it's difficult for us sometimes. So that's all the more significance that Republic Bank, for example, stepped up and said, hey, put it on our property. So we really thank Republic for helping us with that and making it a nice location for us. And we hope we can do more of these things around the community. But, you know, it's also one of these things I certainly want to, you know, thank Kate Savage for starting this project and coming to us and saying, what do you think? Can we do this? And of course, the Kickstarter campaign and all the volunteers and people that have contributed so much to making this possible. So that makes it really important. And of course, the Aylesford neighborhood and Columbia Heights and all the folks that, you know, are in this community right here. It's so important to us. Josh Marilla and Marilla Construction obviously built this and were a huge partner in the project, so we certainly want to thank them. And so again, Lexington was just a small part of this project, but again, glad to have participated and to make this thing possible, and hope that we can do more of this around the city. It's cold, and I'm not going to say much more. Just looking through the notes here. One other thing too that I want to mention. You know, it's an art shelter, and that brings, I think, a whole new element, you know, to Lexington and what we do. I think so many people think of Lextran as, being a service, purely for transit-dependent folks, and we are. But at the same time, we want people to appreciate Lextran for what it is, and it's a service for all of the Lexingtonians. So, the art element makes it look a little, I guess, more tasteful, if you will, and we've really enjoyed doing this. Back in 2008, Yvette Hurt came to me with the Arts in Motion project. And of course, I didn't really know what she was talking about because I just had come to Lexington. But at any rate, point being, introducing art into the public transit system. Our first Arts in Motion shelter was out on Versailles Road, the bottle stop location. It was a cold day, almost like this, so it brings back some fond memories of that. But I really want to thank Yvette for being a part of this project. It's not necessarily Art in Motion shelter, but she was helpful in the coordinating of it all and bringing everybody together and doing those kind of things. And some of her artwork is around, the art shelters around town, so I encourage you to take a look at some of that. And there's another one just right down the street from us, not too far on the UK property. So again, thanks to Yvette for participating in this project with us. And of course, the people that I also want to thank so much are our passengers. We have close to 1,000 passengers that come through here a month, board in these locations up and down Euclid. So we built this for them. So that's what it's all about. And again, thank you all very much for having me here. And I'll turn this back over to Mayor Gray, I suppose.
Okay, I see Rose is shivering there. We're mindful of that. Next, I'm going to introduce Wes Reynolds, representing Republic Bank, who's making quite a celebration of this. Who's been right here along with the 98 citizens who made contributions online and with their checks, including Kroger and, of course, Republic Bank, University of Kentucky. Come on up here, Wes.
All right.
All right, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, and welcome, everyone. And I want to thank everybody for their support in really making this happen. Really, we're very privileged to be part of this and to have this beautiful structure in front of our office. I want to compliment Jenny, my manager over here at this Republic branch, and she did an outstanding job in teaming up with the community. And really, that's what we're about. When people hear Republic, that's what we want to impart, the fact that we are part of the community. And the community is who we are, and the community makes our bank. And we don't miss that for 1 second. I have an interesting trivia for you, however. If you think, everyone has heard of a piggy bank, right? We've all heard of it from kids. We got memories of having our first piggy bank, right? And they ran a ceramic or whatever they were. But when you think about it, I had the research department at Republic look in to see where did piggy banks come from. And it goes back to the 15th century. And during the 15th century, artists back then used to make things out of clay. An orange clay that they called pig, P-Y-G-G. Okay? And what they did, they made cups and bowls and that sort of thing. And just like we do today sometimes, right? We put our spare change in the drawer, right? We put it in the cups or the bowls. Well, an artist back in the 15th century decided, why don't I make one, since it sounds like pig, make it look like a pig. So that's how piggy banks were made. I think it's ironic that an artist from the 500 years ago influenced artists today to make our streets a better place to be. And again, what a great opportunity. We appreciate that. One of the things that we are complementing Art in Motion, one of the things that Republic Bank is doing now through November 30th is we have these piggy banks. And as you know, we need a lot of savings in this country, right? We can be better savers. So what we're asking is for a donation of $1, you can get these at any one of our offices here in Lexington. And the proceeds will go, and you can donate more than $1, but $1 is what we're looking for. And the great thing is, you get this for $1, and you can take it home, fill it up, and then bring it back and put it in your Republic account, because that will help us out as well. So, right. the proceeds go to Art in Motion now through November 30th. So with that, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank everyone for the support, not only now, but throughout the time. And it's such a great place for us to be. We're very proud of this community and proud to be part of this initiative. Thank you.
And now I get to introduce Yvette Hurt. Now, some of you may not know Yvette. Well, let me tell you real quickly that she is represents the imagination and the inspiration and the determination for Art in Motion. And Kate says that Yvette gave her a lot of good guidance and advice.
Well, this fantastic project really shows the power of an idea. Art in Motion started back in 2005 as a really kind of far-fetched idea that we could build art shelters in Lexington. With Lexington support and with community leaders like Kate Savage, we now have our 5th art shelter in Lexington and one of the only programs of its kind in our region. Each shelter is unique, and each shelter is helping to make our community more sustainable by building public transit in Lexington. I want to personally thank, of course, Lextran and Dr. Stevens, who championed our first art shelter back in 2006, and also helped us secure $5,000 for this project through Corridors. Siobhan Akers is a huge ally. She helped us obtain another $5,000 through Corridors for this project. The Corridors Commission has been a huge supporter of Art in Motion and has helped us make this happen. And as always, Joey Daly, who's our strategic partner, senior Lexington planner, band member, and visionary extraordinaire, who does all the location work and the permitting for the shelters, and he's also a member of Art in Motion. And I just wanted to thank Joey Daly. But most of all, I want to pay tribute to Kate Savage. I love Kentucky's new campaign, Kentucky Kicks Ass. I want to start a new slogan, Kate Kicks Ass. Kate is a person you cannot say no to, and I mean that as the highest compliment. She's done a fantastic job coordinating, fundraising, making this happen, and I really admire her. And I just want to say one more note about Art in Motion, things coming up. Under Art in Motion's $150,000 grant, it's a CMAQ grant, Congestion Mitigation Air Quality Grant, with Lextran. Our first 2 shelter designs under that grant have just been approved, and we're getting ready to issue a bid for construction very soon. And you can see the 2 designs on the other side. It's very exciting. It's taken us a long time to get the state and federal approval and get to this point. About 3.5 years, actually. And so we'll be releasing an invitation for bids soon for Southland Drive and Leestown Road. And also Art in Motion will be able to participate for the very first time in the Good Giving campaign this year. And we're so excited. So please look for us, thank you. Please look for us in the guide and help us keep building a more sustainable community through art shelters. Thank you.
Well, Yvette did a great job of introducing our next speaker. The project manager, the imagination behind the project, the determination, the irrepressible Kate Savage.
Thank you everybody. I want to give you a little bit of a backstory here because these things don't just spring up overnight. I am the representative for the Columbia Heights Neighborhood Association, which was the lead on this project. For many years, the people who live in this neighborhood, who shop in this neighborhood, couldn't help but notice the, for lack of a better word, inadequate, sorry Rocky, shelters provided for the people who do their business and their commerce here. And Chevy Chase is a big hub, so a lot of people do ride the bus. And we kicked around the idea in the board of coming up with a covered shelter. But it's a project, and it's a process, and it's daunting. I, about 2 years ago, thought I would take it on, but I wanted a sign from the universe. So I wrote my first grant, an eco art grant. And Louise Caldwell Edwards is here somewhere. She's with City. And Louise, I got a $2,500 grant. So there was my sign to press on. From that, we wrote more grants. We started the Kickstarter project. We raised over $10,000 from more than 200 people who donated to the Kickstarter project. So we had community involvement, little people, and I see many of you little people here today who gave anything from $1 to $1,000. And we made our goal of 10,000 and some odd dollars that we needed to qualify for another grant. So we got a neighborhood action matching grant from the city for another $10,000. So we really had some wind under our sails. We were excited. The hardest part was finding a site. We obviously tried to look at the places where the benches exist currently. Chase doesn't have a big enough site. The site on the other side was not very workable. So I said, well, look, there are five banks on this stretch. Let's do something that's a bank-themed design, and let me see if I can sell it to any one of the banks up and down this Euclid corridor. So my very best 30-year girlfriend's son was just finishing up his master's in architecture at the University of Pennsylvania. And I said, Patrick, how about designing a bus shelter? And think about a bank. Think about dollar signs, you know. So this is what he designed. Donated it. So now we had a design. I came to Republic Bank. They were the second bank I tried. They were all over it. They never looked back. They jumped right into the project. They said yes, and yes, and yes. So now we had Lexington on board, we had Republic on board, and we had always had Yvette with Art in Motion on board because we needed her mentorship, we needed her advice and her experience. So we had a partnership of 4, but Columbia Heights Neighborhood Association was still the front runner on this project. We had all the money, and then we got Josh Marilla somewhere here as our contractor, who has the patience of Job and put up with no telling what. And he hung in there, bit his lip, and pressed on, and formed a fabulous team. Glare Control did the graphics on this shelter. They are UV protection. We've got graffiti film on them. It's really top drawer graphics that are sections taken, very artistic sections taken from a dollar bill. We also had Heck Glass, we had Brown Kubican, who were our structural engineers, and we had many other people who participated in this project. Many of them giving us discounts, cut rates, and really working with us. We've come in under budget, and now we have our bus shelter. A word about the art side of it, because it is indeed a unique, one of a kind in the whole world bus shelter. Some people said, well, why is that a big deal? Because if you're an art lover, that's a pretty big deal. That's like the Mona Lisa in a bus shelter. So then we were given an extra bonus by the powers above, because none of us had anticipated the work that the sun would have on this shelter. This faces north-south, so in fact the sun comes up over there, passes across the top, and goes down on this side, all the time throwing this wonderful, fluid, kinetic shadow across the back pig and also onto the concrete pad. So when the sun is right above, the transfer on the top is reflected on the concrete pad. And so it changes all the time. It's never the same, and it really is remarkable. It's not showing its stuff today because we don't have any sunshine. But there again, it has a unique look to it. I want to thank all these people, everybody who is a part and a player in this shelter. It takes a village, and this was the Chevy Chase village. and the Columbia Heights Neighborhood Association project with the help and the partnership of Republic Bank, Art in Motion, and Lexington. My thanks. This is the one and only shelter I will ever build. And now I have several hundred pairs of scissors because everybody gets to take a snip. So, come. Everybody. Where's Joe? Everybody, take a snip for Patrick.
Where's Diane?
Get on the other side.
We have to do it all.